This is kind of interesting. So Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, great season a year ago. In fact, the only player from 2023 with 95 plus tackles and 20 plus tackles for loss. That's because most of the guys with 20 plus TFLs were edge rushers who do not have the ability to make plays in space like JOK does. That just kind of goes to show you how Jim Schwartz figured out how to use them. Do you think they get a new contract done? Is that one of the priorities? Get that contract with JOK done?
Oh yeah, I mean, um, here's a guy who had a breakout season and showed everything that they imagined when they traded up in the second round to get him, in that draft out of Notre Dame. His first 2 years under Joe Woods, he played tentative, whether it was him learning the system or thinking too much. He had 3 tackles for losses first year. He had 7 the second year, and then he had 20, last year. So he's got 30 tackles for loss, but 20, last year alone. And so this is what you dream about when you draft a guy is they develop, and now you get them to the point where he had a breakout season, and he should only be getting better, where he's at. So I don't know when that'll get done, but being a second round pick, he's in the last year of the rookie contract. I think if you look at Grant Delpit last year, like late in the year, actually he got hurt, but they signed him to an extension, in the last couple of weeks of the season. I don't think JOK gets to free agency. I just don't know when it'll get done, but he's got to be at the top of the list because this isn't like a 30 something guy. This is, your up and coming, defensive star. And I mean, there were times, especially even in the playoff game, when he was he was just like a missile shooting through. If you look at some of the highlights, like when they would throw a little screen pass, it was like he was full speed and dropping the guy in the backfield. He blitzed, he sacked the quarterback, he'd smell out the run and go make the tackle. And I think that's what a strong defensive line, especially interior defensive tackles, does for you. It lets a guy like him who's a little undersized but has the speed to kind of be a seek heating missile and just see the ball and go get the ball and not think about it. Jim Schwartz unlocked his potential. And I think that's just the beginning because he didn't play every down last year until somewhere mid-season. I remember in our session with Schwartz, somebody asked about him, and Schwartz said, it's time for him to be out there on every down. And, he proved it. And, this is Andrew Berry has made a lot of good moves. A lot of them have been in free agency and trades, and maybe not so many in the draft. This is one draft pick that has really come on. He's not letting him go anywhere.